Hello everyone, I've got a story for you today. Rigby and I have got a story. Remember Rigby? So it's called, by Rigby, it's called The Opposite. When Nate woke up one morning, the opposite was standing on his ceiling, staring down at him. "You can't stand on the ceiling," said Nate. "Get down." But the opposite happened and it stayed where it was. "Dad," cried Nate, "there's an opposite on my ceiling." "Where?" said Nate's dad, poking his head around the door. "There," said Nate, pointing upwards. But the opposite had already happened and it wasn't there anymore. "Come on, Nate," said Nate's dad. "You don't usually make up stories to stay in bed." Nate came downstairs to start his breakfast. His mum poured out a bowl of cornflakes. "You can do the milk yourself," she said. Nate always did his own milk. It was one of the things he was best at. Nate took the milk in both hands and greedily, gently poured it over the cereal. But then the opposite happened. Instead of the milk pouring down, it poured up, splashing all over the ceiling, then dripping down again all over the tablecloth. The opposite grinned in the corner. "Oh, Nate," said Nate's mum, "look what you've done." "It wasn't me," cried Nate. "It was the opposite over there." And Nate pointed at the corner, but the opposite had already happened and it wasn't there anymore. "Come on, Nate," said Nate's mum. "You're not usually so clumsy." Nate walked into school and got ready for the first lesson. Nate's teacher asked the children to paint a picture of their favourite animal. Nate decided to paint an elephant. He took out his paint and paper and brush and made a start. But then the opposite happened. Instead of the paint going on the paper, it went on Nate's head, then on the walls, then on the floor, then on his teacher. The paint went everywhere except on the paper, which stayed as blank and clean as ever. The opposite giggled from under the teacher's desk, right by the teacher's legs. "Oh, Nate," said Nate's teacher, "you're not usually so messy." "It wasn't me," cried Nate. "It was the opposite under there." And Nate pointed at the teacher's desk. Can you see the teacher covered in paint? But the opposite had already happened and it wasn't there anymore. Nate